Green Wall Street, how cities like London and Abu Dhabi are leading climate finance. What if the next Wall Street isn't built on oil, steel, or technology, but on clean energy, carbon markets, and the fight to save our planet? Stay with me until the very end, because this story is more than finance. It's about the biggest wealth revolution of our time and the race to control it. The dawn of Green Wall Street. For centuries, wealth has been shaped by revolutions. The Industrial Revolution crowned steel and coal kings. The Oil Age minted dynasties of black gold. The Digital Revolution produced trillion-dollar empires from Silicon Valley. But today, we stand at the threshold of a new era, an era where money flows not into smoke and pollution, but into solutions. This is the rise of Green Wall Street, a financial battlefield where survival, innovation, and profit collide. Why is this happening now? Because climate change has forced the rules of the game to change. Rising seas, burning forests, collapsing supply chains, these are no longer just environmental concerns. They are economic earthquakes, tearing through industries, insurance markets, and balance sheets. The question is no longer whether the world will invest in climate solutions, but who will lead and who will be left behind. Understanding climate finance. Before we explore London and Abu Dhabi, let's get clear on what climate finance really means. Climate finance is the flow of capital into projects and technologies that cut emissions, build resilience, and accelerate sustainability. It is money moving with purpose, from dirty industries toward clean ones, from outdated models to future-proof innovations. This includes green bonds funding solar farms, carbon markets pricing pollution, sustainable infrastructure transforming cities, and ESG-driven investments reshaping corporate priorities. But let's strip away the jargon. At its core, climate finance is not about charity. It is about profit with longevity. The opportunities here are vast, global, and accelerating. The International Energy Agency estimates the world must mobilize $4 trillion every single year by 2030 to stay on track for net zero. Let that number sink in. $4 trillion annually. The capital is already moving. The only choice investors have is whether to chase it or be crushed by the tide. London, banker to the planet. London has long worn the crown as one of the world's financial capitals. From global trade routes to hedge funds, it has always been a city where money finds momentum. But today, London is rewriting its destiny. The city is no longer just financing corporations, it is financing the climate transition of entire nations. The London Stock Exchange now offers platforms dedicated to green and sustainable bonds, funneling billions into renewable energy and eco-infrastructure. Banks like HSBC and Barclays are restructuring their portfolios around ESG goals, while the UK government itself has stepped in, issuing sovereign green bonds that raise money directly for clean energy projects. But London's ambitions stretch far beyond its own borders. From wind farms in Africa to solar parks in Asia, London is positioning itself as the global banker of the climate revolution. Imagine this: in the past, London financed empires. Now it is financing survival itself. Investors who align with London's green strategy today could be sitting on fortunes tomorrow, while those who ignore it may find their wealth stranded in industries that no longer exist. Abu Dhabi, from black gold to green power. Now let's shift to Abu Dhabi, a city carved out of the desert, a city whose wealth has been synonymous with oil. For decades, it was the fortress of black gold. But today, it is making one of the boldest pivots in financial history. Instead of only exporting oil, Abu Dhabi is exporting climate finance. Through its sovereign wealth fund, Mubadala, which manages more than $300 billion, Abu Dhabi is pouring capital into green hydrogen, carbon capture, and solar megaprojects. At the heart of this vision stands Masdar, the renewable energy company born in Abu Dhabi but spread across the globe. Masdar has already established projects in more than 40 countries, from giant wind farms in the North Sea to solar fields in the deserts of Africa. Abu Dhabi is not just experimenting, it is building markets. The Abu Dhabi global market is shaping itself into a hub for carbon credit trading, giving companies the ability to offset emissions in a regulated, transparent system. And perhaps most symbolic of all, Abu Dhabi hosted COP28, proving to the world that even oil-rich nations are positioning themselves at the forefront of climate finance. The very nations once accused of fueling the climate crisis are now racing to profit from its solution. They know what others don't. Oil has an expiration date, but the age of green finance is infinite. Why investors cannot ignore this shift? Let's face it, money speaks louder than words, and the numbers here are staggering. The global green bond market has already surpassed $2 trillion. ESG assets under management have crossed $40 trillion. Carbon markets alone are projected to reach $50 billion annually by 2030. This is no longer a side bet. This is the main game. Think back to the internet revolution. In the mid-1990s, many dismissed it as hype. By the year 2000, skeptics called it a bubble. But those who invested early, those who believed, now hold shares in trillion-dollar giants. Climate finance is at the same stage the internet was 2 decades ago. Laugh at it today, and tomorrow you'll be locked out of the greatest wealth transfer of our time. London versus Abu Dhabi, the new financial rivalry. What makes this story even more compelling is that this isn't just about projects, it's about rivalry. A rivalry between two of the world's financial powerhouses. London is leveraging its historic banking dominance, creating structures, funds, and global pathways for green capital. Abu Dhabi, meanwhile, is using its oil wealth as fuel to build, innovate, and dominate the future of clean commodities. One is a financier, the other is a builder, but both are chasing the same goal: leadership in the trillion-dollar climate economy. Imagine a future ticker screen not dominated by crude oil prices, but by carbon credits, hydrogen futures, and renewable energy indexes. Imagine hedge funds not trading in coal, but in climate technologies that power cities and nations. When the dust settles, which city will emerge as the true green Wall Street? And where will you, the investor, stand in this historic rivalry? What it means for you as an investor. Let's bring this down to the personal level. What does this mean for you, the individual investor, the wealth builder, the dreamer who wants to seize tomorrow? It means the opportunities are no longer locked inside billion-dollar funds. They are accessible to everyone. Green exchange-traded funds allow small investors to ride the wave of renewable companies. Shares in solar, wind, hydrogen, and electric vehicle companies are open to all. Carbon credit platforms are becoming assets in their own right. Startups in clean tech and sustainable agriculture are seeking backers not just from governments but from visionaries like you. This is not about charity. It is not about politics. It is about aligning your portfolio with the future. The next Warren Buffett will not be crowned in oil or tech. It will be crowned in climate finance. Looking into the future. Now close your eyes and picture the future. The last great revolution was digital. The next is green. In the 1990s, people laughed at Amazon selling books online. Today, Amazon is a trillion-dollar empire. In the early 2000s, renewable energy was dismissed as too expensive, too inefficient, too niche. Today is the fastest-growing energy sector in the world. The same voices that mock the internet now mock climate finance, but history is repeating itself. Will you laugh with them or profit without them? London and Abu Dhabi are not just cities. They are symbols of the world's pivot into the age of sustainability. One, the historic bankered empires, now financing the survival of nations. The other, a kingdom of oil, now racing to become the architect of the green age. This is the rise of Green Wall Street. This is more than a trend. This is history in motion. And the only thing more expensive than getting on board is being left behind. If this vision of the future opened your eyes, don't let it end here. Like, share, and subscribe right now. Believe me, you won't want to miss the next video.